Welcome to a season of champions. I'm Gary Lee, and this is a look at the 1996-97 Indy Racing League season. Of course, the first season for the IRL consisted of only 3 races, and we had co-champions, Scott Sharp and Buzz Calkins. But we did have 2 races in 1996 that paid points toward the championship, and the first race was in Loudon, New Hampshire. In Loudon, Tony Stewart was the rabbit. Stewart had almost a 3-lap lead over second-place Scott Sharp when he made his final pit stop, and the electronic fuel system failed, ending his day. Sharp took the lead and the victory, his first in IndyCar racing. Calkins, Alboreto, Groff, and Hamilton rounded out the top 5. From New Hampshire, it was on to the brand-new 1.5-mile Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It would be the final race for turbocharged engines. The new chassis that would see their first competition in Orlando in January were debuted in typical Las Vegas fashion. The most spectacular of the day's accidents saw Johnny O'Connell slide upside down along the front straightaway. He climbed out uninjured and saluted the crowd of 75,000. Richie Hearn held off a hard-charging Michel Jourdain Jr. to capture his first IndyCar victory. And the IRL was set to embark on a whole new era in IndyCar racing.
Here they are now on the front stretch once again, and Lazier gets the lead back.
Tail, nose to tail, off the corner, nose to tail. Who's going to win it? By a car length.
Oh, by a half car length.
No team orders here. Nose to tail. Lyondike looks to the high side by side in the 3. Lyondike takes the lead. Lyondike into 4 with a comfortable lead over teammate Scott Goodyear. Ari Lyondike heads to the start-finish line. The call to finish here is Bob Jacobs.
Ari Lyondike wins the 1997 Indianapolis 500.
In January of '96, the Indy Racing League debuted at Walt Disney World Speedway in Orlando, Florida. In January of '97, there was also a debut of the new car engine combination. The chassis built by Delora and G-Force, the 4-liter production-based stock block engine by Nissan and Oldsmobile. The track at Walt Disney World is a 1-mile tri-oval. Tony Stewart had the pole position.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Howard has the green flag in hand, and the Indy 200 is underway, and Tony Stewart gets the good jump as a battle ensues for second position. Ari Lyondike about 10 car lengths back now in second. From the start, Tony Stewart takes aim at his first ever IRL win.
Ari Lyondike in second place, but right behind him is Buzz Calkins as they head to the start-finish line. Lap 1 is done. Tony Stewart is our leader. We've got great competitive racing going through. It's just that Tony Stewart is running right now absolutely perfect.
And every time the cars come down the front straightaway, the crowd's up on their collective feet. Defending Disney champ Buzz Calkins' machine starts smoking. He and Stewart head for the pit area.
Tony Stewart driving to the far west end of the pit, and he's ready to pull it in. We've got the watch on him once again. The Menards crew over the wall. 4 tires. The Firestone Firehawks getting ready to come off. The hydraulic jacks have the car in the air. Fueling is underway. Tony Stewart, who has absolutely decimated this field to this point.
A caution-free event comes to an end when rookie Jarrett Schrader spins in turn 2, collecting Ari Lyondike in the process. We have one rookie, Jarrett Schrader, spinning coming off the first corner, and then a little later in that melee, it was the number 5 car of Ari Lyondike who spun to a stop to the inside. Schrader moving around inside the cockpit of his car. The safety crew is there. The race goes green on lap 106 with Tony Stewart back on top. Looks as if Team Menard will finally capture its first ever IRL victory. Stewart has led the first 130 laps, but on lap 131, Tony pits.
Here's your race leader, and he is shaking his head. We're not exactly sure what he's shaking his head about, taking a lot of time. 23 seconds, and there was a lot of debris, an awful lot of debris, it appeared, blocking the radiators of Tony Stewart's machines.
Well, we can also tell you that pit stop cost him the lead. So now he finds himself some 12 seconds behind. Buzz Calkins is your leader. Buzz enjoying an 11-second lead now over Eddie Cheever. Cheever, after that pit stop, went by Tony Stewart, and Stewart now is in third position, some 12 seconds behind your leader. On lap 143, Stewart catches Cheever for second.
Tony Stewart trying to reel him in as Cheever tries to make the move around Greco, trying to go to the inside, not enough. And now Stewart tries to go to the inside at the start-finish line. They flash into one, and Stewart has second spot
Well,
back.
I think if this were roller derby, the jam car would be Marco Greco, and he used Marco as a pick, slowing up Cheever a bit to get to the inside. So Tony Stewart has moved into second position.
I just got out of the pit area of Eddie Cheever and was told that he has not had radio communication throughout the entire race, so a pretty good run for Eddie Cheever.
Hawkins with the lead right now, 14.5 seconds over Tony Stewart. Tony is just 0.3 of a second ahead of, now we got some spraying, and I think that's Calkins again, the leader. He appears to be coming in, and that spray is really thick right now.
As Calkins pits, Stewart develops an oil leak and spins on the front stretch.
And now Tony's spun right down the main straightaway. And to the inside, made some contact. He is back going.
Continues on. He saved it. Does a 360. Continues on. Incredible. Almost simultaneously to Stewart's misfortune, the heavens open up, and the race is red flagged. Eddie Cheever is declared the winner, ending up in a suddenly very wet, impromptu victory lane.
Eddie, you ever seen anything like this?
You look like a wet rat. No, I haven't.
Pretty
I'm sitting here just waiting for it to decide whether we're going to stop or continue, but it looks to me like it's pretty wet.
Round 4 was in March at the Desert Mile in Phoenix, Arizona. And once again, Tony Stewart qualified for the pole position, gaining another $10,000 bonus from the PPG Pole Award. And the stage was set for one of the most amazing stories in modern motorsports. We joined the race at the halfway mark with rookie Jim Guthrie leading. Incredibly, Guthrie, a man on a shoestring budget, is running this race, in fact, the entire weekend on but one engine. Jim Guthrie will bring them down. He's in the fourth corner right now, accelerating. The RPMs pick up. There is the green flag. We go racing. Stewart begins his charge. He gets by Cheever for fifth. I think that we're seeing a different strategy being played out by Tony Stewart. In the past races, we have seen Tony be the rabbit. 4 laps later, he catches Greco for fourth, and 5 laps later, he passes Davey Hamilton for third. The 1996 Indy 500 Rookie of the Year is in hot pursuit of his first IRL victory.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Giafone has slowed in turn 1. Guthrie pits on lap 120, only his second and, more importantly, his final pit stop of the afternoon. Whether he'll have enough fuel for the finish will play a role in the final outcome of this race. With the Guthrie stop, rookie Kenny Breck becomes the 5th leader on the afternoon.
Oh, Kenny Breck spins while he's leading, going into turn
Kenny
1.
Breck loops at 180, spins, hits the wall with the left side while leading right in front of Tony Stewart. The Breck incident puts Stewart back on top.
It's looking pretty good. Tony's got a pretty comfortable car, but Guthrie's running strong. It's going to be a real shootout here at the next 50 laps. It's going to be some really good racing.
What a story this would be if 35-year-old Jim Guthrie could take it home in victory lane.
Oh, we got a crash up here. Sam Smith has just hit the wall up between turns 3 and 4, and Tony Stewart goes through there, barely misses a tire that's rolling down the wall.
Under the yellow, Stewart pits for 4 new tires. It's Jim Guthrie, Davey Hamilton, and Tony Stewart as the green flag falls for the final time. They pick up the throttle off the corner. A drag race down the front straightaway. The green flag is out. Guthrie gets a good jump. Here comes Tony Stewart, working traffic, trying to gain those positions back, those track positions back that he lost on that pit stop. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 lap cars now. But with his position, and second place, Davey Hamilton. But Davey was not able to stay with Jim Guthrie on the restart. And Jim jumps out to what? 15 car lengths, 16 car lengths as they cross the finish line with 9 laps to go.
And look at Tony Stewart. Already he's made his way through most of that lap traffic. He's only got 1 lap car in front of him and then the 2 leaders. So he made a great start and got around 4 cars on that restart.
Right now, 194 laps complete. Now 5.5 laps to go. Guthrie up by 2 seconds. There is the battle for second. Off the dogleg, down the backstretch. To the high side goes Tony Stewart. He overhauls Davey Hamilton. He goes to second. And now he sets sail for the leader. It all comes down to a 5-lap trophy day.
Yes, and he is gaining on Guthrie. This is going to be one whale of a finish.
They pull up behind Buzz Calkins entering the first turn. Oh, yeah, Guthrie gets caught up a little bit behind Buzz, goes by the high side. Here comes Tony. Tony has the momentum down the backstretch through the triover, through the dogleg into turn 3. About 8 car lengths separate first and second. Here comes the white flag. It's a 1-lap, 1-mile shootout. Down the main straightaway, 1 lap to go. Brian Howard will reach for the twin checkered flags into turn 1. Guthrie now about 8 car lengths over Stewart.
Baby, give it all you got.
Off turn 2, down the backstretch, across the dogleg. Stewart is going to be out of time. Guthrie is going to be able to hang on into turn 4, about 10 car lengths. Here it is, the dual checkered flag. Jim Guthrie takes the victory. Incredibly, Jim Guthrie has slain the Giants by just 854 thousandths of a second.
I didn't know for sure until after that first pit stop, and I thought, man, this race is ours. We can do it. And I saw Stewart coming up on this last stop, but I knew we had the car. The car was great all day. It was great.
For Tony Stewart, second place will have to do today. The IRL lap leader has now led every IRL event but one, but has yet to taste victory.
We did everything we could do at the end to catch him. He just had a little more than we had.
This is really good racing. I think the fans are seeing some good, close competition here in the IRL, and just tune in for the Indy, the big one. That's going to be even more awesome. But this is quite a shootout. This is quite a race.
The month of May brought the 81st running of the greatest spectacle of racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Ari Leyendijk had the pole, seeking his second Indy 500 victory. But the month of May also brought lots of windy, wet conditions to central Indiana. It took 3 days to run the race as we pick up the action on lap 18.
Well, they almost went 3 wide, but very quickly, car number 42, Robbie Gordon jumped into the number 3 spot. Tony Stewart shows the way, then Ari Leyendijk. They're in the second quarter right now. Stewart still in front, but 3 abreast through 2, heading toward Gary Lee. They look like some mad hornets coming out this backstretch. Once again, Tony Stewart, a car heads for pit lane, and that is the 42 car of Robbie Gordon. Gordon is going to stop. A lot of smoke from the rear of the car, and Gordon looked like he was going to pull this off. He does. The car may be on fire. Quickly exits the race car, and we'll see if the yellow comes out. He is rolling on the grass on that pit lane. Obviously, Robbie Gordon is on fire.
Yellow is out. Tony Stewart holds the speed down as he did on this first restart. Now he begins to pick up just a little. Ari Leyendijk looks to his inside as they come down the straightaway. And we're seeing certainly some very slow restarts. Oh, we have a crash up at the north end. 2 cars have collided, 2 in the wall, the outside wall. We can't see who it is. We believe one may be Mark Dismore and Eliseo Salazar, possibly. Both cars continue to roll. Mark Dismore's car comes down very slowly. We see some damage now on Roberto Guerrero's car. His right front wing has been damaged and the right front suspension, and so Roberto Guerrero may have been the one that was involved in this also.
Lap 28, they're green again, and this time they can race.
Here we go. We've got cars bunched up behind the leader, and Leyendijk goes for the lead, Jerry.
Going 3 wide, Leyendijk wheel to wheel. He will take the lead. They'll have Stewart running second, Robbie Buell into third. That's the way they go into the second turn. Finally, we're going to race it again. And Stewart able to regain the lead. He got back around Leyendijk, and he's blowing Leyendijk and the rest of the field away down the back straightaway to Gary Lee. Battle right now for second position. A big leg for Stewart 3 and 4 wide into turn 3. Who is in second position? Robbie Buell. Lyondike falls to third. Then it's Buddy Lazier. Then it's Jeff Ward. Jeff moves to the inside. He goes to fourth position. Well, Tony Stewart takes the lead through turn number 4. Then it's Robbie Buell. 3 in a row coming through with leading that pack as Lyondike. They head to the start-finish line.
It's a great battle for third position. We've got about 5 cars fighting for third and fourth. Jerry.
Right now, that number 3 spot will belong to Lyondike. On the outside, a great move by Buddy Lazier. He is into the number 4 position. They're 2 wide into 2.
The battle up front continued throughout the first half of the race with Lyondike, Stewart, and rookie Jeff Ward.
Turn 3, turn 3.
2 cars into the wall here in turn 3 as we have the field glasses on them. Hard contact coming through the corner. And now we just see Billy Rowe is one. We see just a cloud of smoke from the tires. Cannot even identify the second car involved.
Paul Durand is the other car involved in this incident. Just simply not enough room for 2 cars there in turn number 3, and they touched wheels.
The leaders pit, but fourth place Jeff Ward stays out. And when the green flag flies again on lap 142, Ward becomes the 7th different leader of the race. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart and Ari Lyondike continued their battle for second place.
Oh, and a good battle between Goodyear and Lyondike in 1.
And Goodyear goes to the inside. Lyondike had a little problems in traffic, managed to sneak up in front of him anyway, so Lyondike will hang on to the position and try to add to it as he goes into the second corner. Lyondike low through 2. Has got Bode in front of him. Goodyear right behind him through 2, and now it's dash into 3, Gary Lee. This will give it over to gray hair, side by side into 3, and Goodyear has him. Goodyear went under Lyondike in 3 and has the position across the North Chute.
Scott Goodyear continues his assault on the field. He looks to the high side of Tony Stewart. At the end of the straightaway, Stewart battles back, but give the position to Scott Goodyear. In the south short chute between turns 1 and 2, it's Lyondike and Stewart battling for third and fourth position. They move through turn number 2 and head down the backstretch. Gary.
Stewart pulls to the inside, going around Dennis Patolo, and Lyondike all the way in the infield grass, trying to get under Stewart. Cannot make the pass. An incredible attempt in the grass, as now they go through turn number 3, and Stewart maintains the position.
Turn 4.
We got a spin in car 44, Steve Kinser, into the wall. He was trying to get around Buzz Calkins, who appeared to be going slow, spun and hit the wall coming out of turn 4. Steve Kinser in the car, tires off. Kinser still in the car, pieces out. He appears to be okay.
Turn 1.
It would appear to be Lynn St. James up against the outside wall, and I got to be honest with you, I'm up there watching the smoke coming out of 4. I have no idea how that car got down here, but it's down to the right where a car never, ever goes down here.
Leader Jeff Ward and Tony Stewart pit for a splash of fuel, but Treadway teammates Goodyear and Lyondike do not, and lead the 500 with only 8 laps to go.
And the green flag is waving, and we are underway.
Could be a terrific race for the final lap of this race. There goes Goodyear, there goes Lyondike, and the rest of the field as they're into the short chute, the south end of the track, now into the second turn. And again, no change with the leaders, and we could have some kind of a trophy dash to the finish. They're halfway through the backstretch and headed toward Gary Lee. No team orders here, nose to tail. Lyondike looks to the high side by side into 3. Lyondike takes the lead across the North Chute. 4, 5, 6 car lengths. Lyondike has the advantage. Ari Lyondike streams into turn 4 with teammate Scott Goodyear right behind him.
The battle is intense, so intense that Tony Stewart brushes the wall in turn 4 and brings out the yellow on lap 199. It looks as though the race would finish under yellow, but in the haste to have a green flag racing finish for the final lap, the yellow remains on as the green flag flies.
And the green flag is being waved. The white and green flags are showing. The race is on. The race is on, Jerry Baker.
What a shocker this is. Lyondike picked it up quickly, and Goodyear, now we got the yellow light on up here. The yellow light is on in number 1.
The yellow lights are on around the track, but the starter gave them the green flag. We don't know whether we're under green. Now the green light is on, and they are racing down the backstretch toward 3, Gary.
They are indeed, but I don't think Scott Goodyear's going to have a shot for the 3rd time in his career. He's likely to finish 2nd. Ari Lyondike has the advantage. Ari Lyondike is going to win this thing. racing across the North Chute to turn 4. Ari Lyondike into 4 with a comfortable lead over teammate Scott Goodyear. Ari Lyondike headed to the start-finish line. To call the finish, here's Bob Jenkins.
Ari Lyondike wins the 1997 Indianapolis 500.
No matter what anybody says, this win feels really, really good and exciting because today was one hell of a competitive race.
Less than 2 weeks after Ari Lyondike secured his second Indy 500 victory, it was off to the new Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas, a 1.5-mile tri-oval with bank turns. And for the first time in the modern era of IndyCar racing, we raced at night. Under those bright lights of Texas, we saw some of the most exciting wheel-to-wheel racing ever as we joined the race with Buddy Lazier and Tony Stewart doing battle.
Tony looks to the high side going into turn 1. He stays up high, side by side, through the corner. Look how high up on the racetrack Tony Stewart is. Can he get him? Well, Lazier still has it as they come down the backstretch. Tony right with him, wheel to wheel. They head into 3. It is Tony Stewart to the high side, trying to get Lazier. Buddy holds him off. They head to 4. Oh, hold your breath. Off the corner, side by side. Tony up against the wall, down across the start-finish line. Maybe by a nose that time. It was Lazier still side by side. They have gone a full lap here in Texas, side by side. It stays that way in the backstretch. Lazier pulls about a half a car length ahead. Stewart closes on him, going to 3, taking the high road. Tony Stewart still can't get him. Very close. Wheel to wheel, they head toward 4. The fans are standing and cheering. The fans are going wild across the start-finish line. 2 laps now, side by side again. Into turn 1, ever so close, and Tony has him. Tony has him from the high side. He has him going to 2, but Lazier tried to duck in behind him and rake up the ground. Stewart has the lap back. Tony heads to 3 and begins to pull away from him. Buddy Lazier is slowing down. And he threw the steering wheel out, disconnected the steering wheel. Buddy Lazier is going to climb out of the car. Yellow is out. We have a lot of smoke coming from the rear of Robbie Buell's car. Robbie Buell may be laying down a smoke screen and some oil, so we have yellow on the racetrack. And that will bunch 4 cars up on the lead lap behind your leader, Tony Stewart. Oh, no! The leader has just let go! The engine has expired.
Oh, and he spins. Tony
spins. He hits the outside wall in turn 1. Oh, my, coming down to finish. Lap number 206. This race will finish under yellow. And
Billy Boat will win the race.
Billy Boat under yellow. AJ said, conserve the thing. Will finish under yellow, and the A.J. Foyt team will finish 1 and 2.
Fred Treadway still believing that he has won this race, Gary.
Could be some controversy when this is over. In fact, there was some controversy. Ari Lyondike went to victory lane to protest, and A.J. Foyt did not like it.
Then I count.
They had a mix-up and they never corrected it. So when you passed Stewart, you thought that was for the lead? I was racing everybody all day long as hard as I could so that in case they would clarify this mix-up, that I would be okay. And after having passed Stewart and after having passed everybody, I felt I was in the lead.
Ari, in fact, was in the lead, and the very next morning, USAC declared Ari Lyondike the winner, and they moved Billy Boat to 2nd and Davey Hamilton to 3rd. For 75 years, Colorado has been in the motorsports spotlight as drivers have challenged Pikes Peak in the annual Race to the Clouds. Now in the shadows of the famous mountain, the Indy Racing League drivers do battle on a brand new 1-mile oval, Pikes Peak International Raceway.
Sharp and Tony Stewart side by side. It's a rather slow start here as they come off of corner number 4. Ryan Howard looks at them, and the green flag is out. We are underway at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Tony Stewart with about a half a car length advantage as they roll into turn number 1, and now Stewart does get out ahead of Scott Sharp.
There's a spin. Scott Sharp spins in turn 2.
Slides up and hits the outside wall.
Can you believe that? As they were going out of turn number 2, Scott Sharp lost control and spun into the outside wall. That happened just as Tony Stewart was beginning to pull away from him, having taken the advantage at the drop of the green flag. Tony Stewart, Davey Hamilton, and Scott Goodyear are at the front of the field after the loss of the pole sitter Scott Sharp due to an accident in turn 2. Here's the green flag, and we are back to racing, actually racing for the first time, and now Davey Hamilton is going to take a shot at the lead. He and Tony Stewart go through turn 1 side by side, but Stewart comes out of turn 2 and down the back stretch with the lead.
Tony Stewart continues to lead by about 5 car lengths. Back in third position is Scott Goodyear, and then it's Kenny Breck back in fourth. Come off the fourth corner, completing lap number 1. It's still Tony Stewart.
Oh, we have a crash in corner number 4, and is Jimmy Kite. Kite has made contact with the 4th turn wall, and the car has come to a stop in front of the grandstand here, just short of the start-finish line.
Rookie mistake. I mean, that's all there was to it. I had been following the 17 car, and I tried to turn down underneath him, and as soon as I did, I got a big blast of air, just stuck the front end and went around. I mean, I'll learn. Hopefully we'll get a lot more chances.
Stewart continues to lead through the halfway point as things begin to heat up behind him.
Green flag has come out. We are back to racing at Pikes Peak International, and immediately a battle setting up for position as Gregoire, Cheever, and Hamilton side by side into the corner.
And Cheever goes to third position, and now he tucks up behind and goes by to the inside, and there's the battle for second, goes by Calkins. So Cheever has gone to second position. Calkins drops to third.
Calkins got held up behind Afonso Giafoni and lost 2 positions. So now Eddie Cheever runs second. Then it's Calkins, Gregoire, Hamilton, and battles for position behind Hamilton.
And remember, the guys running 1, 2, and 3 are the same guys that were in the 1, 2, and second or third position at Orlando back in January when in one lap, both Stewart and Calkins went out. The rains came, and Cheever won the race without ever leading a green flag lap.
And now Gregoire, Gary, challenges Cheever for second position, but he had the higher line on the racetrack and had to back out of the throttle. I thought he was going to take over second position, but no such case.
And then Kenny Brack just went around. They made a sandwich out of Dismore off the second corner. Kenny Brack the low side, Davey Hamilton the high side. We are seeing some great racing all the way around this racetrack, 3 wide at time.
And again, Gregoire challenges Cheever in turn 1, but cannot get the job done. Man, that is a good battle for second as Gregoire has gotten a great run on corner number 4 the last couple of laps and have been able to challenge Cheever. Eddie Cheever is having a very, very good run. And currently in second position, a car on the wall in corner number 2.
That is Ari Leyendijk, and Leyendijk spins to the inside now and hits the inside retaining wall. He brushed the wall, got high in 2, went down the backstretch, then came across the track about at halfway down the backstretch and made contact with the inside wall. Now we have a yellow. We could finish under yellow, so maybe for once, Lady Luck is riding with Tony Stewart.
I wouldn't mind it finishing under yellow, but I don't think it's going to the way it looks.
The crowd that has gathered here has seen just some incredible racing. We see them up cheering as the green flag comes out, and we are back to racing. Let's see who's going to win this thing. Davey Hamilton pulls inside of Cheever.
3 wide into 1, Bob, and Davey Hamilton on the inside. The sandwich was Cheever. He drops to 4th position.
That's too bad because Eddie Cheever was the one that backed out of the throttle, and he gave up a position as a result of it. So it's Gregoire, Hamilton, Cheever, Calkins, Suspiri, and Goodyear, and the white flag comes out. 1 more lap to go for Tony Stewart, the young man from Rushville, Indiana, who has tried so hard to win his first Indy Racing League event. The second place car of Stephen Gregoire makes a challenge here. He's within a few car lengths. Let's watch him at the line as Tony Stewart comes off of corner number 4, and Stewart wins the Samsonite 200 by a couple of car lengths over Stephen Gregoire.
Well, for damn, what a long time coming. You know, I can't say enough about this Glidden crew. That last run was the best run this car's handled all day, and you know, the times didn't show it. I mean, we were the fastest at the end.
Stefan Gregoire nearly pulls off the biggest upset of the year. The Chastain Motorsports driver ends up second, his best ever IRL finish.
We would have needed some more laps, but I think I was able to pass Stewart. It was a shame we had this yellow at the end. If not, it would have been possible, I think so. But second is okay for us, you know.
For the past quarter century, stock cars have called the Carolinas home. In fact, Indy cars have not raced in the Charlotte area in 70 years, until 1997, when they returned to the good old South, this time under the bright lights of Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The field now begins to tighten up just a little bit as we anticipate a start here. A perfectly aligned front row of Stewart and Lyondike and a perfectly aligned second row of Billy Boat and Davey Hamilton. The pace car pulls off, and the green flag is out. The inaugural Visionaire 500 underway, and it looks like Tony Stewart is going to lead into turn one.
He gets a quick jump, and right behind him, Lyondike. They're single file. Meanwhile, Hamilton around Billy Boat. He's got the number 3 spot. Lazier now at Guthrie. They're side by side for 5th on the backstretch. Halfway down the backstretch, Lyondike looks to the inside, wants to make a move on Stewart, but here comes Davey Hamilton up under Lyondike. He will rocket into the 2nd position, give the front spot to Tony Stewart by 4 car lengths. Then it's Hamilton and Lyondike.
The action is fast and furious. Tony Stewart opens up the early lead, and 75,000 fans settle in for an evening of open cockpit, wheel-to-wheel battling.
Stewart is the leader at this point by 12 seconds, and the best battle on the racetrack is for second as Dismore and Lazier are wheel-to-wheel in one.
They split the lap car of Groff, and now Dismore around the high side holds onto the spot. Lazier down on the bottom of the racetrack now lines up nose to tail. They hit the backstretch. Dismore has a 4-car length advantage over Buddy Lazier, who was side by side a half a lap ago. Here comes Dismore down to the white line, running the NASCAR line. Buddy Lazier closes within 2 car lengths.
Indeed he does. He closes right up as Sam Schmidt is running at a slower pace in front of these two. They'll have to deal with him probably on the backstretch. They're over in 1 and 2 again.
Lazier looks to the low side of Dismore. He makes the pass as Dismore goes up the speedway. Give that spot to Lazier. Dismore 2 car lengths back.
With his radio communication out and debris on the racetrack, Stewart pits on lap 75, and Buddy Lazier assumes the lead for the first time tonight.
Stewart has no radio communication with his team. The car is running fine, but right now, no radio communication for Tony Stewart.
They're 3 wide in the backstretch as Tony tries to pass some slower traffic, and he does so successfully, at least one of them, but still a lot of lap traffic ahead of him. As they come down now, it's John Paul Jr. and Scott Goodyear and others that he is trying to get around on his
9 cars, Bob. 9 cars between 1st and 2nd, but Buddy has yet to make his 2nd pit stop.
Mark Dismore brings out the yellow for a blown engine. The leaders pit, but Roberto Guerrero stays out and assumes the lead. He would lead the next 26 circuits.
Buddy Lazier wanting to get back on the lead lap. He is in hot pursuit now of Roberto Guerrero.
And Tony Stewart is slowing and coming in for a pit stop. He is on the apron of the racetrack. Tony Stewart is dropping off of the racetrack and coming in for a pit stop. The caution is out because of a crash that occurred in turn 2.
A big-time wreck, Bob Jenkins. Roberto Guerrero trying to get underneath Davey Hamilton, working into turn 1. They touched midway between turn 1 and 2. When they did, they both started to do a lazy spin, but that's where the lazy ended, because at over 200 miles per hour, they then backed into the wall hard, both cars shattering into pieces.
The crash will cost Davey Hamilton the IRL points lead. Meanwhile, Boat and Lazier run up front. The final laps will make this a night to remember.
3 wide. Billy Boat to the low side. Buddy Lazier up high. John Paul Jr. on the top of the stack. Give the lead to Billy Boat. Coming off of turn 3, he has it by 2 car lengths over Buddy Lazier.
Unbelievable. It appeared to be dropping off the pace, but all of a sudden, like a rocket ship, he is into the lead right now over Buddy Lazier and pulling away, it appears.
3 car lengths back as they exit turn 2. Again, Scott Goodyear on the tail end of the lead lap, praying for a quick yellow flag so he can get back in the hunt. He's got to get a yellow soon, so he has a chance to get after both.
And here they are now on the front stretch once again, and Lazier gets the lead back. Lazier retakes the lead here on the main straightaway at the start-finish line. 1 lap to go for Buddy Lazier. The white flag is waving. Buddy Lazier is about to win here at Charlotte.
Buddy Lazier already has the Indianapolis 500 trophy in his collection. He'll add one from Charlotte Motor Speedway here tonight.
Off corner number 4, he goes low to pass Eliseo Salazar. And Buddy Lazier has won the inaugural Visionaire 500K from Charlotte Motor Speedway in fine fashion. The advantage at the end was 3.3 seconds over Billy Boat.
To win here is just awesome. It's, you know, and just to be able to race here is really spectacular. The fans, you can really feel the enthusiasm coming from them.
You know, just won a great open wheel race. That's what racing's all about. And we'll come back next time and get a win.
The battle for the IRL Drivers' Championship is a good one. Tony Stewart has finally wrestled the points lead away from Davey Hamilton after Charlotte, but the lead is only 7 as we head to the Pennzoil 200 in August at New Hampshire International Speedway.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
After 2 minor spins for Robbie Groff and Jimmy Kite, the race goes green, and pole sitter Marco Greco takes the early lead. It's going to take a couple of laps to really warm the tires up, and the veterans know that. They'll take it easy, kind of tippy-toe around here to feel this racetrack out and warm those tires up. Still about 5 car lengths now between first and second. On lap 33, Sam Schmidt hits the turn 2 wall, and the Pennzoil 200 has its 3rd yellow. Leader Greco pits, and that puts Scott Goodyear on top. Let's check in on the run of Eddie Cheever, Vince.
Well, Eddie Cheever is having a fantastic run. He started towards the middle of the pack, and he has worked his way up. In fact, started 18th, and now he's running 2nd. Cheever has not yet pitted. He did not come in when the others came in for their pit stop. We're currently on lap 52. Look for Cheever to make his stop in the 68 or 69 lap range.
Marco Greco hits the outside wall along the front straightaway. Greco about to battle for position. He lost control coming through turn 4. The rear end jumped out on him. The race goes green with Salazar in front. But a few laps later, Eddie Cheever charges through the field and takes the top spot. Well, Eddie Cheever leads this race, but not by much. His 2-second advantage over Robbie Buell has dwindled to just under a second. And we understand Tony Stewart is climbing out of the car, so his race is done, but we could have a battle for the lead.
The question is, though, as a man who's going to battle Cheever for the lead, will he have enough fuel to remain out onto the racetrack until the end? They think there's a question now, so Robbie Buell, maybe he is going to have to lay off the accelerator just a bit, save some fuel, conserve it for the end of the race. To Vince.
Well, I just spoke with John Menard a moment ago, and John said we are going to be very, very close. But the dilemma is, if you bring Buell in for a splash and go, chances are that's going to cost you the race anyway. So you might as well stay out. If you run out of fuel, you run out of fuel. But coming in for a splash is going to cost you too much time. Eddie Cheever does not need to come in at all. So Cheever is good for the distance, and that may just be the payoff for Eddie Cheever in first place.
And that second lead is now down to 4/10 of a second. Keep in mind, Robbie Buell is not going for a points championship. He is not racing for points. They might as well leave him out and let him go for the victory. Let's go back to the pit lane and visit with Tony Stewart.
Well, Tony Stewart certainly not in the position he wanted to be in, because right now he's standing on the wall in the role of a cheerleader for Robbie Buell, Tony.
It's getting closer and closer. Robbie's right on him now. You know, if Robbie can pull this off, it sure make my day.
Once again, about 3 car lengths separating first and second. Will we have a brand new winner? Will we have a repeat winner? Eddie Cheever won at Orlando back in January in the rain. Robbie Buell, back after a 2-race sabbatical, has not won in Indy Racing League competition. 2-lap cars and about 4 3-car lengths between first and second. They come down to complete lap number 198.
Oh, they nearly touched.
Cheever is off. Cheever is off pace. He may be out of fuel. Cheever may be out of fuel. Robbie Buell takes the lead. They almost made contact.
How about that?
Is he under power? No, he pulls off in turn 1. And now we're going to have a shootout between Robbie and Vincenzo Sospiri. Sospiri, with virtually no short track experience, about 3 car lengths behind. There is the white flag from Brian Howard. 3, 4 car lengths at the start-finish line. Now Robbie Buell tucked in behind the number 30 car of Groff, goes under him into turn 3. This is going to be Buell's race to win.
Here comes Sospiri.
Sospiri goes to the high side. They are nose to tail off the corner. Nose to tail. Who's going to win it? By a car length.
Oh, by a half car length.
By a car length.
Oh, my word. What a great finish.
Buell got tucked in behind 2 slower cars.
you know, we had a good car throughout the race. The Quaker State car has been collecting dust the last 2 races, so it was good to see it out there.
I thought we were going to get first plus and second win. We didn't. It was a little gearbox, so I'm not sure what it is, but all the gears inside just exploded, and that was that.
What better place for the final showdown than the glitz and glitter of Las Vegas, Nevada, and the 1.5-mile tri-oval Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Now, the situation showed that Tony Stewart had a 10-point lead over Davey Hamilton. However, the drama began to build in qualifying. Davey Hamilton appeared to have the pole position and the 2 bonus points that go along with the pole. But late in the session, his teammate, Billy Boat, bumped him off the pole. So it's an all A.J. Foyt front row for the final showdown in Las Vegas.
And the green flag is out, and here we go. Nice start as everybody is here on the tri-oval, and they head for turn number 1. 3 abreast racing. We have a car up high on the track, kicking up some dust, but everything is okay as we go to Mike King.
Davey Hamilton will pull around Billy Boat, and he will lead him down the back straight. Boat will run second, and Robbie Buell third, followed by Eliseo Salazar. They head into turn 3. Everybody safely down the back straight. Bob, they're headed to 4.
On lap 37, Greg Ray tags the wall in turn 2.
We've got a problem in the back straight. A car up against the outside wall. Impossible to see his number from here as that car is glued to the outside wall, but it did appear that there was contact to the outside wall in turn 2, and now the car begins to slowly make its way, continues up against the wall in 3. But we do have a problem, and we do have a yellow for our first incident of this race.
The leaders pit.
Pace car already down on the apron of the racetrack, and the field now is beginning to accelerate. Roberto Guerrero, who is at the front of the field, steps on the accelerator and separates himself a little bit from the leader, Jeff Ward. Here they come down for the start.
And the black flag is being displayed for your leader, Bob. The black flag was just displayed for car 35. The leader has been black flagged.
Jeff Ward is black flagged for a pit speed violation, while Robbie Buell and Mark Dismore do battle at the point.
And now we look at Dismore as he heads for the bottom of the racetrack. They're wheel to wheel, side by side in turn number 2 for the lead. Who's gone to the backstretch?
Mark Dismore is going to nose just ahead, but now it's Robbie Buell, about less than a half a car length there, side by side, reminiscent of Lazier and Stewart that we saw at the Texas Motor Speedway. Still side by side. It is Lazier, rather vacant, it is Buell on the outside.
Just incredible racing here at the line. Again, they're side by side. A slight advantage to Robbie Buell. He's able to hold off the tremendous challenge by Mark Dismore, but it's still a good battle up front as they're through 2 again.
We have got Tony Stewart slowing down in the back straight. It appeared that he had made light contact with the outside wall in 2, and could this be a major problem for him? You bet. He's got to finish in the top 8 to clinch this thing, so by no means is this over. Stewart is still on the track, but he is very slow.
Oh, we have a crash. We have a crash in the backstretch.
He is brought onto the racetrack. Robbie Buell is going to have to barely miss him, and if he does, a wheel is rolling free. Giaffoni, Mark, as you were mentioning, the left rear was apparently not tight on the car.
While Davey Hamilton and Tony Stewart continue to battle for the points championship, Eliseo Salazar becomes the 10th different leader of tonight's race, a new IRL record.
Let's give an update on the points championship right now. Davey Hamilton runs in 8th position, and the number 2 car of Tony Stewart back in 13th. There are 5 points between those positions, so right now if the race were to end, Tony would take the title by 5 points.
As the laps wind down, less than a second separates Salazar and Dismore up front.
A big crash involving Roberto Guerrero. The car gets upside down, makes contact on the pavement, and has come apart in the back straight. The car has come to a stop, and Roberto Guerrero is the car involved. I can see that he is moving and is trying to get out of the car. It has come to a stop, a one-car incident, a lot of debris on the back straight, and he is crawling from the car, and he is okay.
With both the race and the points championship still on the line, the race goes green for the final 5-lap trophy day.
Salazar with about an 8 to 10 curling lead over Mark Dismore. Dismore now, though, trying to desperately hold off Scott Goodyear, and Goodyear's going to get underneath him at 4.
And Goodyear passes Dismore, and Buell also passes as Dismore is out of fuel. We anticipate he's slowing dramatically. Meanwhile, the leader, Eliseo Salazar, is off of 2 and on the backstretch.
Eliseo Salazar's first ever IRL victory over a hard-charging Scott Goodyear makes for the 9th different winner this season in the IRL and gives Salazar and car owner Andy Evans their first ever IRL IndyCar win.
Yeah, to be honest, I cry. I cry because, it's something so great, that I've been looking in the last 3 years in Indy. I train hard every day, and I devote my life 24 hours for this. So I cry on the warm-up lap thinking, what, I made it.
The IRL championship goes to Tony Stewart, who fights an ill-handling car all evening to finish 11th, while Davey Hamilton ends up 7th, giving the points title to Team Menard by the narrowest of margins.
Well, I just can't. It hasn't sunk in quite yet, I was busy running Robbie's car, and every time I looked at Tony's car, I'm going, ooh, I hope these guys make it. I hope it makes it. And man, it made it. It's a culmination of a lifetime's work for me.
I've been at this 20-something years. It's the first time. This is almost better than winning the race.
The car pushed all night, and I think we had a shock that must have went away or something, because no matter what, we couldn't do it.
How about it?
You're sweating an awful lot now, man.
I got a cold bath. Better use
Job, baby.
Yes.
Scott Goodyear ends up 2nd in Las Vegas, his 6th top 10 finish of the season. For Goodyear, victory lane remains yet a step away.
We're 2nd and on the podium, not what we wanted. Certainly wanted to win it. But, we were closer. We were always catching these guys. We just didn't seem like we had enough just to get past them.
The Rookie of the Year is Jim Guthrie. His incredible win in Phoenix with a power plant far past its life expectancy is a story for the ages. Ari Lyondike is the season's top money winner with 2 poles and 2 wins, including the 1997 Indianapolis 500. Lyondike earns more than $2 million for Treadway Racing. The season of champions was also a season of change, and we congratulate Tony Stewart and Team Menard on the championship. The new season begins in January at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. So long.